Today we'll be building the campervan bed. Let's see how we get on. I've been building the bed structure for the van. I'm starting to get ready to do a bit of a dry fit with that and the unit that I've bought, the sideboard that I bought that's made of oak, which is obviously quite heavy, but that's going to provide structure and a cornerstone for the whole build. Now, I wanted to keep these runners in place for the back seats of the van, so the way I've designed the bed is so it can easily be removed. At the moment, I think I've got about 16 screws, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 16 screws and 2 bolts that I've got to remove to take the bed out. That sounds like a lot, but it probably takes about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Predominantly the bed's going to be all the time, but if I want to pick anything big up, if I want to pick up a motorbike or if I want to go to the tip, then I need the space to get those, the bigger items in the van. I don't want to ruin a perfectly good large van just for the campervan lifestyle, although that's obviously predominantly what this is all about. But if I can do both things, then that's really sensible. I think it will come to a point where eventually it's going to have to be one or the other, but right now, and the way I'm building it right now, I want it to remain a versatile sort of multi-function vehicle. So it's still all a bit of a learning curve at the moment, but it seemed to go together quite nicely. Obviously there's going to be a few bolts in the floor and in the wheel arches to hold the structure together. In the wheel arch there is actually two bolts that stick up from there, so that's what will hold the frame in, and then there's going to be some more on the floor, and I just have to build some sides to this frame to hold these in place and screw them on, and that's it. Then from the inside, this is almost sort of showing me what sort of space we're going to have. I've designed it so the bed base is level with the worktop. We've got a bit of room at the end, which I'm still thinking about, but I think we're going to have a row of seats in here. And yeah, my cupboards that I've refurbished and painted the doors need a bit of adjustment because the gaps are a bit wrong in places. But yeah, it's all starting to look pretty good now. I have to make a fillet of wood to go between the cupboard and the bed, because then the bed will fasten to the cupboard and again give it a lot more structure. So yeah, it's all going good now. Quite pleased. So all this is going to be my garage space underneath. I've got these two sides, which I'm going to have electrics on one side and then just a storage on the other. But again, it's just a matter of learning exactly what I want and what I'm going to need as we go along. But yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased the fact that I've still got my runners in the back. The bed's all fit in. Yeah, pretty good. So I've made good progress with the bed. I'm at the point now where I've cut out the fascia board that's going to go on the front of here. And before I go any further, I've upcycled some bits of wood that I had lying around. This has been painted anyway, so obviously all these scratches here won't show. Yeah, I've cut out the fascia board that's going to go underneath here. What I'm doing now is just to give the wood a bit of character. Instead of just being a big slab of white MDF, I'm going to cut some grooves into it. So I've run one test run so far down through here, using this bit of wood as a guide, which is straight enough for what I'm doing. So then what I'm going to do is run loads of lines going, will be vertically off that single line, and then obviously the joint of the wood to the bed is up on this edge, so I won't need to route the top edge, and then I can go in each step from the top of the wood down to that line, and hopefully it'll look nice and neat, but we'll see. So the first thing to do is to mark it all off and then go from there. So here we are all marked up. This is how my brain works. This line, second line in pencil, is where I need to put my guide, and the red line is where I should be cutting. If I'm not counting on the red line, I've made a mistake. So in my mind that works better, and hopefully we'll be able to do this with no mistakes. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. I don't want to do this again. And there you have it. That's all the slots all routed in. Really chuffed by the way that came out. All my lines are absolutely dead straight. They're all parallel to each other because the way I did it, which I'm very pleased about. Yeah, that worked quite well. So we'll put it in the van and have a look, see what it looks like in the van, and then we'll take it back out and see what we can do about painting it. I'm actually really excited by the way that's come out. I think that's perfect. I think the fact that I only put one groove down the bottom to match up with the groove that's at the top, I think that works perfectly well. I think by the time I've done what I'm going to do with the top piece of wood as well, and painted that in to match, I think that's going to look absolutely amazing. At some point I'm going to put some hatches and doors in this. It was just basically to give it some character whilst I'm building the van, and the doors can come later. It's taken me what, an hour maybe to do that, give the wood some character, and whatever else I put in there afterwards, it's all going to add to it. The doors will be hatches. They'll have the same grooves on them because they'll be made from the same panel, so yeah, amazing. I'm really pleased with that. So I've manufactured this piece for under the front seat, or the little single bed if you like, in the same way as I've done the piece that goes underneath the double bed. There's going to be hatches in here as well for storage. I've tried something a bit different this time. I actually used this on a couple of the awkward spots on the unit that I painted on the doors. So I'm using white primer from Halfords to coat the wood first. It seems to stick very well, and it's very good for putting a good base coat on. So yeah, that's what I've been using. So after one coat of the rattle can white primer, this is what it looks like. I did something a little bit different. After priming the woodwork with the white Halfords primer, I went over with the same paint as I'd done the cupboards with, but using a roller. I thought I'd give it a go and see what sort of finish I got, and to be honest, it's so close to how it came out the spray gun. I won't be spraying it on again. There's no point. If I wanted to, I could flatten that down a bit, but it's so good. As I spoke about earlier, I've painted the line on this bedboard to match the line that goes across the bottom of the bed. So my cabinets are all fitted, obviously with my handles. I don't think I said anything about my leather handles in previous videos, but I quite like those, very tactile, match the sort of the style of the camper. And here's the seat unit that I'm building as a single bed. I've cut out lots of slats. I've built some rails for the slats to rest on, and they'll all spread out. I've also constructed a shelf at the top. This isn't fixed on yet, but using an old breadboard that I had, again repurposing everything, and that will fit on the edge here. I've had to cut a contour out of the back of the breadboard here for the seat, so obviously that's the seat all the way back, and that fits into there nicely. Adds quite a nice little feature, I think. So that's where we are now. Oh, just one last thing. So I've also done a little bit of work underneath the back of the bed. I've painted all the framework, given it a light rubbing down to match the grey at the back of the van. I've also created a couple of panels. They're actually made out of the old roof lining of the van, so another bit of upcycling there. And I think I'll possibly use, if I've got enough of this left, I'll use that for the side panels, for the electrical boxes, and maybe, I don't know, this side might have a stronger unit front, because I might put some doors in that. So there you go. If I didn't say before, these slats are actually bought from IKEA. It's a double bed, full size double bed, and it was cheaper to actually buy the slats from IKEA. I think they were £65 than try to make them, and they're really nice because I think there's dual strength in the slats. Some are light grey and some are white, and they seem to give a different flex, so that's good. Also put the fascia on the back of the bed there, and that holds then all this in place, so all this can't move from side to side, and it can't move end to end because of they butt right up to the side of the van. And then when I put the mattress in, I've set it at this height so the mattress will rest into the window opening, and then you'll get your longest possible width of the van for very tall people. Excellent, huh? Very happy with that. And I think I'll finish off this video with that. I hope you like what I'm doing with the van. I'm pretty pleased with my work so far. and it's making quite quick progress. I've had a bit of a week break because I've been at work doing shift work, and I've got another week to go, and then hopefully we'll be putting some electrical things in. I think the idea is to just have a consumer unit, run a few cables, for a few plug sockets, and then I can plug it straight into a campsite. I'm going off grid yet, but I might go camping before it gets too cold. We'll see. Be nice to get out and about, wouldn't it? Oh, if you can get fuel crisis.